And good morning, world. It is Tuesday, the 12th of September 2017. The Sun is about to square Saturn. Mercury is coming up to conjunct Mars. The Moon's in early Gemini. It's all brewing up to a period of strength, I suppose. Not intensity, but strength towards the end of this week. Big thank you to all those people who have emailed me regarding my videos yesterday, especially regarding the Irish bat. That is simply the funniest thing I have seen this year. It still makes me howl with laughter, and it seems you all like it as well. So, Sun's coming up to square Saturn. Today, Cassini plunges into Saturn's atmosphere after 12 years of circling the Saturn and sending us back some incredible photos of Titan, Cassini and all the other moons around it. And I thought, well, seeing as Saturn's about to swallow Cassini, let's do a little update on Saturn. Saturn is the furthest planet you can see with a naked eye, which is why the ancients used to see it as the planet of boundaries, of limitation, because you couldn't go beyond Saturn with sight. You still can't. You can't see any of the planets or objects apart from stars beyond the orbit of Saturn. It's too far for the naked eye to see. Saturn is 2.5 times further out than the planet Jupiter. Both of these are gas giants, but whereas Jupiter's gas is hot and billowing out, and Jupiter gives out twice as much heat and light as it takes in from a sun, Saturn, because it's a lot further from a sun, its gas is cold and it compacts in on itself, turning the gas into crystals of ice that compact in, giving gravity and density. So this is why Saturn is seen as the planet of structure. And of course, Saturn has rings around it, which Cassini has proved to be relatively recent in origin, but nevertheless. The rings kind of symbolically hold Saturn in, which is why Saturn has been seen as a planet of restriction, limitation and frustration. So with its distance, it's a planet of limitation. With the rings around it, it's that of restriction, being held in. And with the structure of its ice crystals compacting in a kind of sea of density, it's why it's got its reputation for solidness and groundedness. Saturn has a 29.45 year orbit, which is why the so-called Saturn return at 29.5, 29 2/3 and 58, 59 years old is so both respected and feared, especially when younger. And it is the Saturn return that makes people under 30 different from those over 30. It is the most maturing of aspects. By the time Saturn comes back to its original position, it's passed through every sign, every house, and made every aspect to every planet in your horoscope. This is why Saturn is such a good teacher. And as one gets older, particularly past the Saturn and a half return around age 42, then Saturn's lessons become less based around restriction, limitation, frustration and authority, and more based around words like structure, self-discipline, order, hard work, living within one's own boundaries rather than those pushed on you by others, and ultimately success through your own disciplined hard work. It's also worth looking a little bit at the mythology. Saturn equals Kronos, the oldest and the most human-like of the Titans. The Titans, amongst not only Kronos but the Hesperides, the Cyclops, the Hydra, the Medusa, all of these were the Titans, the Gorgons. These were the beings that allegedly ruled the earth before the Olympians. Saturn / Kronos swallowed his children rather than allow them to usurp him, because after all that's what he did to his father, Uranus. And one day his wife decided to feed him a stone instead of the next child, and the child grew to become Zeus, the leader of the Olympians / Jupiter, and disemboweled his father, releasing his brothers and sisters. The resulting war between the Olympians and the Titans was won by the Olympians, and the Olympians cast the Titans down into Hades, or Tartarus as it was called then. Saturn still remains in the sky as the boundary planet, the overlord of the sky, if you like, and although Jupiter is much bigger than Saturn, Saturn still retains a kind of gravitational controlling influence over us all. It creates a boundary system within which the laws of physics and the ways we deal with the inner solar system remain constant. Outside of Saturn, I suggest the laws of physics, the laws of gravity and time and speed are somewhat different, and I suggest that developing science over the coming years will prove this to be so. But Saturn is not the monster that he's thought to be, although many people under 42, and especially those under 30, will disagree with me. But as you get older, you realise that Saturn is your own created monsters, and if you choose of your own free will to work hard with discipline, structure and boundary, Saturn becomes your friend. I wouldn't go so far as to say Saturn is my friend, but we have a very healthy respect for each other, and I'm privileged and proud to work with him. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I love Saturn, but I've got a lot of time for him, and hopefully he's got a lot of time for me. So Cassini's going to plunge into Saturn today, and well, a big thank you to this innocuous little space probe that's given us so much information about this most wondrous of planets. Catch you later, world. Bye.